So clearly this isn't the Scion stream that was advertised. Due to unforeseen circumstances, once again, we have had to push that back. However, I've spoken to the players, and no matter what, next week it will end. I will run this final session, even if it's just for 2 people. For 1 person, probably not, but for 2 people, I would just. It's not fair to keep messing the players around. Hey, Angel Wraith. It's not fair to keep messing Onyx Path around, and it's not fair to keep messing you, the Onyx Path Twitch community, around. So next week, no matter what, with some caveats, is the end of the Scion actual play. So this does mean that I have made a liar of the Monday meeting notes twice in a row, and I do apologise to the fine folks on Onyx Path for that. I am a fan. I don't work for them, and they can only do the best with the information provided, which was that I thought this week would be fine, and it's not. Again, no one is to blame, just some things came up. However, it's still worth checking the Monday meeting notes every week. This week it will tell you about Dystopia Rising Evolution, sorry, which is a new game that Onyx Path are releasing. There's some sweet art from the Sound Companion. Dystopia Rising is a zombie apocalypse game, by the way. Also some sweet art that came from Beneath the Sea. And just a general update on how Onyx Path are doing. I'm sure everything's fine, it's just someone didn't turn up and I didn't want to run for 2 people. There's a lot of illness going around, there's a lot of uncertainty, and obviously the world is not in a good place right now. It is the Monday meeting notes are also a good place to just keep up to date with the Twitch schedule. There's always both the graphic version and the text version. Again, hopefully next week you'll say Scion for the last time. And then a link to all the various videos that have gone up recently and whatnot, as well as Kickstarters and the project update timelines. That should not have been so hard to say. There's a couple of things that have changed, none of which are relevant for this, but if you're interested in any of the various Pacifist Cabbage, any of the various projects Onyx Path have going at any one time, be sure to check out the Monday meeting notes link above / if you've just joined and can't see the link, it's in the captured chat window, which I was worried would be the wrong size because I accidentally resized my chat, but it seems fine. I will drop the link at the end of the stream as well. So, obviously no Scion, so it's just back to business as usual. I'm here for another hour and 47 minutes at this point. Doing some more Chronicles of Darkness goodness and whatnot. I realised that this is going to be a lot quicker than my Scion one was. So, take that with a grain of salt, what have you. I wasn't expecting to be doing this again today, so I haven't done all the preparation I'd be comfortable doing. But I said I'd do content today for Onyx Path, and I am a streamer of my word. Also, I love doing this kind of thing, so prepare for me to be flailing frantically for ideas. But let's get the usual disclaimers out of the way. My name's Ryan, or Comrade Bubbles. As I say, I wanted to fix the frame, but I couldn't because it got changed. Oops, thanks for the minute my Streamlabs. I could try and sort it out, but it would take too long to do on stream. So you get just my face with no nice frame. I'm sorry about that. I need to make one specifically for this show with my deets. I keep meaning to do that, and I keep forgetting. But yeah, my name's Ryan. I go by Comrade Bubbles, or the Moonlit Bard on Patreon, and private GM for hire. I say I'm not a fan. I am a fan. I'm not a representative of Onyx Path anyway. They just give me the platform. I am disabled, so I may experience muscle spasms. I apologise if that makes you uncomfortable. I may also slur my speech and stutter. It's related, I promise. It's the muscles in my jaw and throat go. Also, when I talk quickly, I slur my speech anyway, just because it's just what happens when I talk quickly, and I get hella nervous doing this, so be prepared for that. I run a lot of intro games, and so I feel like I have some knowledge about what I'm talking about when I'm writing introductory scenarios and adventures for role-playing games. And obviously, Onyx Path make good games, and I just wanted to help spread awareness of those game lines. So this is Chronicles of Darkness. Can you tell I'm going off cuff? I did not do my notes for this. So far, we have created 6 characters. Boom, 6 characters. That's what they are. Those are character templates to be ported over to a Chronicles of Darkness character sheet. Hopefully easily understood. I guess if you're watching this after the product is out and on the Storytellers Vault, because that's where this product will go, please let me know in the reviews or in the video comments if you have any problems with the product. So far, as of last check, there were no reviews or discussions regarding my Scion adventure, so hopefully everything's fine on that. But this does go up on YouTube a week after it airs here, so after this stream is over, I will upload last week's stream. There is a week's exclusivity for subscribers to the Onyx Path Twitch channel, so if you want to catch up on all the goodness that is not this show, because this is a weird show, I will admit that it's different to most of the shows on the channel. Either use your Twitch Prime sub if you've got one, or go for a sub for the channel. You get some sweet emotes to get those VODs a week before anyone else, or just wait for Onyx Path to upload the VOD to their YouTube channel, or if it's my show, it'll go up on my YouTube channel as well, which is, again, Comrade Bubbles. But last time, as I say, we did the 6 characters. The time before that, we... and again, this is a community-driven show. I do everything with chat's input, so we is applicable in this instance. We discussed... none of this. We discussed this. We discussed urban legends, which is some urban legend creating, and started creating scene 1 more in depth. But as a recap, scene 1, which is a low stakes scene, is intended to get people rolling dice. Myzari, sorry, no concept of schedules these days. Myzari, what is a schedule? What is time? Who am I? What day is it? You're not the only one. Hopefully you're doing well though. And then the same applies to all of your loved ones. Low stakes scene designed to get people rolling dice and get to grips with how the game deals with dice rolls. And I did find the word for it. I did. I think it was just roll, right? I think it was just roll for Chronicles of Darkness. Yes, roll. Cool. Excellent. I really need to make that lexicon up for this game as well. And then 1 to 3 scenes. I'm probably not going to have one scene. One scene is really short. Probably have 2 or 3 scenes of ways in which the players can investigate what they have experienced so far, find some breadcrumbs to lead them onto the finale, which will then... in other games, I would typically have a combat scenario, but in this game, it's probably going to be an exorcism, which I guess is sort of a combat scenario, actually. Anyway, and Sandra originally got suspended, so days measured in games and drawings right now. Yes, this was a 2-drawing day. I mean, I stream every day, so that gives me some kind of schedule. I mean, I've worked from home since I graduated, essentially. So it's not been a terribly big deal, although a lot of that was just job hunting. But with the Patreon and with freelancing, obviously I work from home a lot. But my heart goes out to anyone who is not used to working from home, or who has been suspended or gone on furlough or what have you. I know that it can be jarring to go from that structure and routine to not having it, and I hope that both my streams and Onyx Path streams in general do kind of go some way to alleviating that. So investigation, some breadcrumbs to get them to the climax, which will be preparation for what must be done and actually doing it. The climax, probably going to be a haunted house scene, if I'm going to be honest, where the players have to find where to perform the exorcism and then exorcise the Wendigo, or Wendigo, never sure how to pronounce it, from the Radford estate. So about what you direct your energy at each day. It is, which is why I spread myself too thin, because I do like 3 things a day. All of which could potentially be full-time. But because they're not making enough to do full-time, then I don't have the time to do them full-time. Anyway. Hi, Time Roller. How you doing? Did I whoops? Did you whoops? Somebody whoopsed. Which will make sense, because you can see it in the chat below me. While I'm talking through what I'm writing and why I'm writing it, please, of course, feel free to ask questions. This show is all about community building and interaction. So as you can see there, feel free to ask anything you can think of relating to playing/running Honest Path role-playing games, or just role-playing games in general. I will, fair warning, use D&D as an example a lot, purely because that's what I run a lot of. Whoops, what ups? Not my understanding of the lingua franca, my friend. Not my understanding of the lingua franca. Yes, so feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Apart from being confused, I'm generally okay, but tired, bit not irritated, but concerned and upset about not being able to stick to what I was supposed to be doing today. But there we go. That is entirely on me. I am a person who needs that routine and that pre-planned structure to actually deal with the everyday world. And these are strange times. But I hope you are okay, Time Roller. I hope you are okay. And that your loved ones are also. So, we left off doing some weird stuff in the house. So, friendly reminder, Chronicles of Darkness, you can go in a couple of ways with it. You can do cosmic horror. You can do cosmic horror. You can embrace the God Machine. You can do some really, 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 really weird things with it. You can do ghost stories, which is what we're doing here. And you can do dark fantasy, which is more kind of leaning into using the other products in the game line as inspiration, as starting points. I usually go for mixed splat games. In terms of crossing themes and ideas, but as this is an introductory scenario, and I don't want, I want people to have the rulebook and that's all they need to play. I'm talking with my hands, which you can't see because I've had to zoom in. This isn't using either like vampires, werewolves, changelings, mages, Prometheans, mummies, demons, or anything like that. So we're doing a ghost story. We're aiming for horror. We're aiming for unsettling. That is, after all, the Chronicles of Darkness. It is our world through a mirror darkly. So we are doing we are going to do some horror themed events throughout this adventure. So last time, as I say, we did the 6 characters. Thank everyone for your help with those characters. I was struggling. Don't know if you could tell. And then started fleshing out scene 1. Scene 1, if you remember, we just started with this short paragraph. Rough sequence of events to prompt player engagement. Could be. The fire starts. Any members of the fire department or the volunteer fire department are summoned. The crowd assembles. People start gossiping. The fire department enters the building. Something happens within the building. Crowd reacts to whatever happens. If visible/audible, the fire department leaves the building. So, we have a couple of characters, namely the park ranger, potentially the tourist, who stayed, the fisher person, possibly the tour guide, who feasibly could be part of the volunteer fire department. So we do need some stuff inside for them to interact with, to happen to them or around them. I should also say at this point, I've been streaming a lot recently, and my throat is messed up because of it. So if I do start coughing, that's why. It's not illness. I've just got a irritated throat from talking for like 4.5 hours a day, every day for the past few weeks, minus the weekends. I'm trying to drink more to compensate, but obviously that has its own problems. So that's why. If I cough, I apologize. I'll try to mute the mic as best I can before I do so, but I don't always have advanced warning. So there we go. So. Tea and honey, because if you story time, because too much talking. I have lemon and ginger infusion with a spoonful of honey in it. Too much honey, actually, if I'm being honest. It just kind of came out too quickly on the spoon. But yes, Myzari, that's what I've been doing every time I've streamed and run a game, and I don't... That's not going to change anytime soon, because I'm streaming the rest of this week on my channel, possibly on Thursday, possibly not, and then I'm running a game of Call of Cthulhu on Saturday. It's pretty hype. Get hyped. Role-playing on Sunday, role-playing on Monday, streaming through the rest of the next week, and then Monster Hots on next Saturday, so it's... My throat hates me. Anyway, so... doing some stuff for people inside the building. Once we've done some stuff... Like I said last time, these aren't necessarily all of the rooms, because this is a big house. This is the Markham estate. The Markham house, one of the... a stately home situated on one of the estates rented out to tourists is on fire. So it's a big house. This one, for for the assumptions of the scene, should be close to a for this scene to work, the Markham house must be near the entrance of the estate or have ready public access. There we go. First thing that comes to mind is a grandfather clock with a small secret door in it. I like it, Pacifist Cabbage. I like it a lot. I was just addressing an inconsistency with why would people be there. Like, why would the public be there if it's on a city and if it's on an estate? So we don't. These aren't all of the rooms necessarily. These are just some of the rooms where something interesting could happen. I'm gonna just go straight Resident Evil with it and have the grandfather clock in the living room. I think that's where it is in RE7, right? I don't know. Anyway, so cancel with any order. Cool. Yeah. So entryway, players just make a reflexive wits composure roll to feel an unnatural chill and a brief pang of hunger. Friendly reminder about some terms for people who are unaware. Chronicles of Darkness uses a dice pool based system. You count up all the dots on your character sheet. You grab that many d10, 10-sided dice. You roll that many. 8, 9, 10 is a success. 10s you re-roll to try and get more successes. You keep re-rolling until you run out of 10s, basically. You only ever need one success in Chronicles of Darkness to succeed at an action. 5 or more are exceptional successes. Failure is 0 successes. And if you... Right. I'm going to check something real quick. Also, I realized I have too many PDFs open. Before I misspeak, because that would be awkward. You know what? I'm just going to Control F. I'm assuming it's the same in this edition as in other editions. That a dramatic failure is you roll a chance die and you fail. And it's not that you... Yes, so if you are ever reduced to 0 dice for whatever reason, you roll 1 die, it's called a chance die. You fail that, that's a dramatic... you roll that, you get a 1, that's a dramatic failure. Or if a player fails, they can just opt for a dramatic failure to gain a beat. 5 beats make 1 experience, and the experience is spent on character progression and development. That was a very rushed overview to the mechanic for those of you who are perhaps unaware, but there we go. So getting 1 success means that they feel cold before the fire, like unnaturally so, and 5 or more successes means they feel a brief pang of hunger because, again, as I believe it was Beelzebub who was here at the time, suggested that the big bad is a Wendigo. Statue of a distant relative in the foyer that seems to pivot to follow the party or character after they leave the foyer. I like it. guess we could put that in a hall, just like a main hall. Let's have a main hall. This is my house. I can make of it what I wish. These are heading 3, I think. Also, of course, it's a red herring. The house might be haunted, but that's not actually what we're dealing with right now. A statue. Of Vincent Markham. Yep, that makes sense. I like it. A statue of Vincent Markham. A statue or a bust. So just head and shoulders or a whole statue. Rest on a podium in the middle of this hall. It begins facing the doors from the entryway. Could be either. Could be either. Well, I mean, thinking about it, this is potentially a place that players could come back to. They could, go under the caution tape and investigate the house further. So, what? I have an idea. I'm not going to share it, but I do have an idea. And I'm going to let it germinate, and then if I think I can make it work, I will then share it. But it'll probably not be the stream, just to keep everyone aware of that. A lot of ordinarily this is a bi-weekly stream, and a lot of that downtime I use to develop story ideas, or just cool things that could happen. And obviously I'm not getting that right now, so I'm not getting that proper downtime. So it won't be this stream, but it in theory should be next stream after the Silent one. Speaking of which, I do need to check something. Nope. Never mind. Okay, anyway, back to this. Begins facing the doors from the entryway with its back to the main staircase. Main/only staircase. No, it's a stately home. They'd be backstairs. Whenever a character leaves and re-enters the hall, there is a 50-50 chance it has moved to face them. 50-50 chance too. There's a 50-50 chance it has moved to face them. Or pivoted, I should say. Silently to face them. So, chat. How about this is just a really elaborate security system? It's motion detect. It's motion activated. There are cameras in its eyes, and it just tracks any movement throughout the hall. When it's not deactivated. Because yes, this is a horror game, but not everything should be horrific. It's that unknown aspect that makes the horror palpable. And when everything is scary, nothing is scary. You love it? Cool. I had a good idea. Yeah. In actuality, this is a motion-activated security system, which then leads to a way of deactivation. So the secret door in the grandfather clock could lead to a small security room where the camera feeds are and where all the security system is set up from. Possibly. I try to say this is a motion-activated security system. That tracks any movement in its field of view. records the footage via cameras in its eyes. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't know why I put an apostrophe there either, but there we go. Okay, so that's that. Cool, cool. Wish my phone would stop vibrating. Okay, so living room. How am I doing on tea? Oh, running out. God damn it. I've been streaming half an hour and I'm over halfway through my tea. Living room. Ooh, I guess I should insert how... Hit my desk with my elbow. I should insert a line up here about the fire progression and date of each room is left to the storyteller's discretion. This is when you go and inhabit corporeal form or the possessed player. I haven't yet built it, so I don't have any idea of its where is it? Ephemeral influence and stuff. Because obviously there is a possession. I'm pretty sure there is a possession. Numina. Dread power? Is it a dread power? Where is it? Oh. Maybe not anymore. However, I have yet to decide. The urban legend, the pertinent urban legend is that the latest scion of where is it? That Amos Radford IV lives in the basement underneath the estate, which would imply that someone has seen him. So even if he doesn't have a corporeal form, still has something there to be seen. But I was going to do this as a ghost rather than a horror. Just because I just want to tell a ghost story more than anything. Manifestation and possession. There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Kitchen implement makes play for action. I'm going to count it. That might work. That'll be a condition that I apply on the character. Sorry, I'm just reading the rules on possession, see if I can make it work. What? What? Where is it? Please scan better. Oh god, where is it? Where is it gone? So possession requires specific preparation, so it won't be possession, but it can. All ghosts can manifest. All ephemeral beings can manifest. I say ghost. You know, we don't. I haven't yet decided what it will be. Well, what? Okay, it's a condition. Really should have, yeah, should have expected possessed to be a condition, all things considered. Anyway, I will look into that further. For now, the Wendigo has no fixed form or concept for how it works. That's something that we can obviously, workshop. But the kitchen implement to foreshadow the hunger I do like, and I could assign a condition based on that implement. Progression of the fire and the damage to each room is left up to... I keep saying the story guide's discretion, but the storyteller's discretion, but it's only going to be the storyteller reading this, so your discretion. Oh, need to go revisit that sentence. Bear in mind that players may wish to return here later to investigate further. I'm a fan of creepy taxidermy rooms. I don't find taxidermy that creepy. You know, when it's done well. If it's done poorly, it's funny. My main objection to taxidermy is when something has been killed specifically to be taxidermied. Is that a verb? Is that the correct past participle? Anyway. Living room. Grand. For the clock. In this room. Seems normal at first glance. Any degree of although I guess this being a stately home probably would have a trophy room. Will reveal a secret door within it. Door can be opened by... How will this door be opened? Did Pacifist Cabbage suggest any way of opening it? No. Obvious solution would just be pull one of the counterweights. That's kind of an obvious solution, and players will probably just try that anyway. So I don't want to go that route. Messing with the hands, possible, I guess. I don't want to go full RE with this and have them go to a different room to pick up something to put in the clock in this room. I almost open like cabinets, and I'm kind of... The way I'm envisaging this is that kind of you open the clock and you can clearly see a door at the back of it, but there's no way of opening it. I kind of want to go the whole sympathetic symbolism route and have like a grandfather clock carved into a nearby mantelpiece, and you push it, and this grandfather clock opens. Maybe, I don't know. That seems a bit obtuse. Sorry. One with the clock size to one side. These are all good ideas. Because if it is the door to a security room, it needs to be easily openable, like easily and quickly openable. Just so, or it could be like a panic room, I guess, rather than just a specific security room. So it needs to be easy and quick to open, but also sort of hidden. Although obviously if it is a panic room, it's going to have its own lockable door and whatnot. Could combine the ideas actually. Could have a false bottom. You lift the bottom up and there's just a lever or something to press or manipulate in some way, which then opens the door at the back. How does that sound to people? Let the pendulum be a way where you pull it to activate the mechanism. It's just a bit obvious. I mean, for obvious reasons, it's a classic. Clock face itself could be the key. Let's go with that. Let's have... let's just say you just press the Roman numeral. Sorry about the stammer. The Roman numeral for 1 on the clock. Oh right, the font this is in isn't a Roman font. On the clock face? On the clock face. I'm asking for chat's help with things like this specifically because I have a tendency to overcomplicate matters, and I'm aware of that. And obviously, self-knowledge is a very important thing, especially for a storyteller and someone who makes puzzles. Because a lot of my puzzles leave the players don't. Because I know the solution, the answers I think I'm giving are really really obvious, but they're not in any way, and that's something I'm working on. So I'm hoping to crowdsource this, groupthink, if you will. To have something that people could potentially find out when puzzles do occur. True for most storytellers? Oh yeah, definitely. But it's something to be aware of as a storyteller, or games master, or whatever you want to call it for whatever game you're running. Let's combine the two ideas. Inside it revealed. Let's just have it as a small security room. Let's not have a panic room here. That can be elsewhere if there's a panic room. Once open, even. Once open, it reveals a small security room. From inside the security room, in which there is a bank of monitors with live video feeds from throughout the house. As well as a small safe and a landline telephone. A character. See one of the pendulums. Don't know why I keep putting an apostrophe. I don't know why I keep doing it. Has an arrow carved into it pointing downwards. Towards a lock. Pulling the pendulum closes and locks the secret door. Secret. Pulling the pendulum closes and locks the secret door. Gosh, brain blank. Preventing anyone from outside opening it. Preventing anyone opening it from the outside. Get it from the outside. Inside there is a simple handle. I once had a 6-statue riddle puzzle that the character solved and the next thing tomb it was in. You understand? Yup. The pain is real. That should be a small, and there's an extra space there. Just checking something. Okay. So that's just a security room. Oh, we should probably have like a way of turning off the security system in this security room. As well as a small safe. I I guess. A computer that controls the security system. And a landline telephone. There we go. Okay, so that's the living room. Dining room. Should anything creepy happen in the dining room that can be explained through either horror or not? Let's skip the dining room. Let's go to the kitchen for a moment. The best of all rooms in the house, obviously. It's where the food is most of the time. Any player, any character in this room notices the worn ladle hanging above the large range as if it were a trophy. A character who lifts it down notices the handle is made of bone. Metal of the bowl is rust free, and that there seems to be some kind of inscription. Oh, TV's turning off. Sorry. I'm having to use a TV as a second monitor right now, and it turns off after like 3 hours. Unless you know, do something with it. Which reminds me, I should probably turn the volume down. There we go. Let's say carved onto the other side of the bowl. Carving is too shallow to make out any details with the naked eye. I'm going to put C below for I guess potential research methods, results. Any character who interacts with the ladle begins to feel hungry and gains the let's see if there's a pre-existing condition before I make up my own. I believe there is an appendix. Here we go. Conditions: amnesia, blind, broken, bonded, connected, deprived. It's about addiction. Possible. Yeah, let's go against the deprived condition. Maybe not, actually. Maybe not. Fugue is not the right thing. Obsession. Oh, the timer on the channel's finally realised that the channel's live, so that's good. Obsession works. I think. Yeah, let's go with obsession. Obsession condition. Focus of this obsession is food. And it can be resolved through gorging oneself. Although the player should not know this. For context, conditions are long-term character things that influence mechanics or dice pools in some way, and they give you beats when you resolve them. They're a good way of gaining experience and reflecting kind of changing mental states or long-term or short-term effects of in-game actions. So some of them are obsession, or mute, or soulless, swooned, deprived, crippled, that kind of thing. They cover a gamut, and they're really flexible, and you can make your own easily enough. Obsession works. So obsession removes the 10 again quality on all dice rolls when not actively pursuing the obsession. So there we go. That's the cursed item. Cursed. Okay, that was tickling my brain, so I've put it down on paper. Oh, I'm looking up because that's where chat is. Just because, again, I'm using a TV, so it's quite big. When I'm able to use my monitor again, I'll be looking more here than here. There we go. 47 minutes in. Cool. Okay, so should probably have something happening in this, some sort of narrative going through this house fire, like source of the fire. We know that there are teenage ghost hunters in bedroom number 1. So we know that there is something in the house based on their testimony. Should probably have that encountered in... one or 2 rooms? Pans and utensils hanging from the ceiling in this room are swinging in an unfelt wind. And the characters enter. There we go. These are obviously not going to include full descriptions of each room, although I might add that in the final product, or a couple of a sentence or two to describe the room. Dining room, however, being a place of eating, does seem like a prime place for a ghost, especially one tied to deprivation and exposure. So, any characters entering... And again, said it before, I'll say it again, if you do want to ask any questions about Onyx Path role-playing games or role-playing games in general, take this time to do so. I know a little about a lot of things. So, same box of matches, half open in each room, idle and touched by the fire. I like it very much. I was going to have I have an idea here, pacifist cabbage, but that is still a good idea. Hidden in some rooms. Roomies. I did it again. Why did I press the E key? Hidden in some rooms and obvious in others is a box of matches. It's a half-open box of matches. If pocketed, it disappears from said pocket. Upon leaving the room. Box matches is the same in each room. And persists if the characters return later in the adventure. Any characters entering this room hear the sounds of something eating, bones cracking, meat being torn from the bone. And feel rather than see movement at the head of the table. Let's just synthesize our ideas, pacifist cabbage. There are no visible signs. Source of the noise. If characters linger in this room, a yellowed bone. Later examination can reveal this to be human. Will appear on the floor as if thrown over a shoulder. Does that work for everyone? Something creepy and overtly supernatural. Can I have some of my drink? Okay, cool. Bedroom 2, master bedroom, master bathroom, library. Well, let's tackle the other overtly supernatural thing. I mean, master bedroom or library seem to be the obvious ones. Tempted to go with the master bedroom, just because it ties it in with this bedroom. And where was the figure walking to? And also ties it with the idea I've got germinating in the back of my mind. I'm sorry, I have wind for some reason. It's unpleasant. Yeah, it ties it with the idea germinating in the back of my mind that I think I'm going to go with. But again, I want to try and figure out the... examine it from all angles before I make it a known, shall we say. Before I have the eureka moment that, yes, this works, it's amazing. Or, eureka, yes, this works, like everything I write, it's distinctly average. So let's go with the master bedroom being where the other supernatural event takes place. Okay, so I also need to talk to Onyx Path maybe about putting some music in the background of this. I think I know I can get copyright-free music from, but it would just cut down on the silence, because I'm aware that watching a pale, long-haired, non-binary person typing into a webcam and speaking and describing what they're typing isn't the most riveting viewing experience. As attractive as they may be. Or not. Yeah, exactly. Creepy music. Yeah, have your music going? Well, Maizari, you are ahead of the curve there. God damn it, ahead of the curve there. It's something I've been meaning to sort out for a while. I just don't know the best way to go about doing it, so I do need to talk to the OP folks. Handily, there's a Discord server just for us Twitch streamers, which is where we deal with these kinds of things. Anyway, because I mean, there is just the Onyx Path theme that I could play quietly in the background. Anyway, that's a problem for a future day. Let's go with master bedroom. Fire in this room is curiously dark. Still visible. It seems superimposed. Room when any players enter. I'm not going to put where the box matches is in every room. I'm going to leave that up to the storyteller, but in this room, it is very visible on a side table next to the dust sheet covering the bed. A shape lies under the dust sheet. Let's use that as 2 words. Also, I can recommend the Onyx Path dice application. It is something I use on occasion, and it is useful and does everything you need it to do. It is free. Also, you can buy new dice and like table effects, but the base thing is free. Shape lies under the dust sheet. The tilt that applies. Throot. What? Now there are too many T's. Throughout. Rest of the house is suppressed here. Investigating the shape. There's a mound of mouldering clothes. However, character who pulls back the sheet also hears a high-pitched cracking laughter in there behind them. Even say from the direction of the door. Any character in the doorway when this happens. Feels a chill, but sees nothing. Should the character who heard the laughter... Let's have another dice roll here. I just need to pull up a character sheet. But dexterity seems like it might be a useful attribute. Oop, too far. But yeah, it'd be dexterity and athletics. I thought it probably would be. Just to have some, concrete rolling involved, so that if the storyteller isn't confident in how dice rolling works, or the players aren't prompting dice rolls, there's some definite guidance about when to roll dice here. Turn in time to see a blurry figure pass through the doorway. And any people standing in it. Okay, cool. Spooky. I'm going to have to copy paste. I guess I should do a scene that is just if they want to investigate the house a bit further after the fires died down, they can. That could be one of the those stake scenes. And then you've got the library scene. Oh yeah, a research scene. And maybe a preparation scene, trying to find the stuff that they need. Why don't there be 2 scenes? Oh no, yeah, 3 scenes with a preparation scene. And then the climax will be the Redford estate, although they could go there during the research phase. This is going to be very, because it is primarily investigation based, it's going to be very more freeform. I think scene is the wrong way to think about it. I was highlighting the wrong scene, I'm sorry. I think scene is the wrong way to think about it, more like beat, story beats. Anyway, that's a future problem. Master bathroom. I don't think this is actually needed. And then I included library just because it just seems traditional to have something spooky happen in a library. I don't think bedroom 2 is needed either. Oh, they found. Could there be a vanity in the master bedroom so the mirror could warp the reflection of the into the beast? There could be. I'm gonna put that really cool idea in the bathroom, which I just deleted. Whoops. It'll just be like a at first glance cracked and slightly tarnished mirror. Again, this is a place of economic deprivation and downturn and decline. So sure, they rent this place out to tourists, but they can't always afford to keep it updated. I feel like writing mod for the Omens of Betrayal. Man, I would love to work on a expansion for Betrayal. Oh, that reminds me of the Scooby-Doo one's coming out. Oh yeah. I will look into. I think that's next month actually. The Scooby-Doo Betrayal. I think. But yes, it's just a haunted house. First glance, the cracked and slightly tarnished mirror in this ornate bathroom seems to reflect a warped version of whomever looks into it. On second glance, it is revealed that a transparent dust sheet hangs half off it. Half off of it, but the unsettling feeling the reflection prompts remains. So like, was it the fault of this dust sheet? Or was it actually something wrong? Who knows? Who knows? That will be up to the storyteller to decide. Anyway. Sorry, I just keep checking something. Apologies, go to dip starving. We'll stay looking in case you have time to return. I'll be here for another about an hour, Maizari, so enjoy your food. I too am getting hungry again. But thank you for lurking anyway. Hopefully I've been mildly entertaining. Ooh, let's do some foreshadowing. Let us do some foreshadowing. Obviously, this is the whole fire situation going on, so that's you kind of got to bear that in mind while doing this, that the players won't necessarily have that long to investigate this time around, but then second time around, yes, they can. In fact, I might just have like seen whatever the Markham house, see scene 1 for more details, of like what's in each room. Or I think I'd probably just copy paste actually and be like, the relevant entries are repeated here. Always good. I'm glad. Try to be helpful and entertaining. Anyway, let's do some foreshadowing. Book lies open on a reading desk next to a. Let's have it like the cleaning crew is in here at some point. Let's do a dented tin box. Box is branded with the box carries the logo and name of. I'm going to do single quotes because that's British English. Empyrean Maintenance, because you know what, let's just tie it in with everything else. Ashworth Maintenance. Ashworth are my totally not umbrella company. As in, totally not the umbrella corporation. They do a bit of everything. They're just convenient. Have we included a music box that start playing when players enter the room? Those are creepy. We have not yet. That is something that I could potentially put into a later scene, however, because we do have. Someone did make the suggestion of. Where is it? It's up there somewhere. Yes, they make a suggestion that band recorded a music video in the Radford estate. And so I do want players to investigate the Radford estate as well. This is just a kind of related event. And the nursery that's terrifying. Oh boy, you do not want to watch The Woman in Black then. Although thinking about it, this could just be the Radford estate. I don't know. I'm just complicating matters by starting it in a different place. There we go. I was just complicating the adventure. I don't know why. So this would be Amos Radford the First. Just checking for any other references to Markham. I think I'm good. Yeah, I don't know why Can anyone remember why I said I wanted to start it in a different place? I think I had a reason at the time, but I think it's just. I mean, I could rewatch the VOD, but I think it's just complicating matters to start it in a different place and then expect the players to leave that place and then go elsewhere. So this way, like if they come back to investigate, they have a rough idea of the house, of the manor house layout at least, and then can investigate the rest of the grounds. I think that works better than, hey, start at one place, but go somewhere else for the actual storyline. Anyway, open book is a journal from 1950 1956. Page, it is turned to... I think it works better because players less get distracted about. Exactly. Describes a harsh midwinter. Okay, I think it's... Sorry. I think that's every room. Obviously I deleted one, but I think that's every room. I'm just going to tidy up the formatting here because it's going to bother me otherwise. There we go. So. Some overtly supernatural stuff happening in the Radford estate to go with the... urban legends. Obviously, these urban legends are about the whole town of Georgeville, not specifically the Radford estate. But we can pull on those threads later. Okay, so that's what happens inside the building. We need some stuff to happen outside of the building. For people who are not members of the fire department. So. Oh god, Silicon Path keeps making me jump. Crowd quickly assembles. Outside Radford Manor. I mean, I know that it's... Okay, anyway. Any character present in the scene, but not going into the house, is assumed to be a member of the crowd. Unless the player says otherwise. Whilst in the crowd, characters will overhear mention of any of the urban legends described above. As well as the following. Hope it's not another arsonist like in 1957. Whoop, whoop. The power of the tab button. I don't know how to do indents. Oh, that's how you do indents. I just remove the tab and put a proper indent in. There we go. Hopefully that will help to preserve the formatting when I put it into Word. Because again, friendly reminder, Microsoft Word is really difficult to capture. So I'm using Google Docs. Also, Google Docs means that technically I can work on this wherever I am. If I'm not at my computer. Although that doesn't really happen. Especially now, I haven't been out of the house in 3 weeks. Anyway, I do hope it's not another arsonist like in 1957. At least the mayor has a reason to tear this cursed place down. What? Oh, I see what I did. Oops. There we go. It's the wrong indent. You fool. You fool. Again, I cannot reiterate enough how important it is to format properly. Just in general terms anyway, when you're writing any long document, but for adventures specifically, indented text implies, in this case, that it's a list, because it is a list. These are clues that players could potentially pick up on and investigate. Getting your headings right means that you can just snap to the right heading. Whoop. Or in this instance, whoop. Not that there's anything in that heading. I should have whooped to that one. But also, getting headings set in, if you're working in Google Docs, to then import into Word, it will preserve headings and indenting and things like that. So I highly recommend figuring out that whatever word processor you use, you quickly understand how formatting works in it, especially if you want to make adventures. Something also to get into the habit of doing, like I'll be doing when I put this into Word, is each scene will be a different section. I'll be using section breaks. That helps with content page generation and kind of header footer generation. Things like that. It's just quality of life things that add a bit of complexity or extra things to think about when writing, but mean the finished product is more polished and usable and accessible, which is an important thing for me anyway. Anyway, that said, bit of a preachy moment over. Sorry about that. I don't know where that came from. That's a death metal band, right? Laser Kitten. The hooligans probably started the fire. It's a death metal band now. So that's a reference to the thing that was suggested last time. Right? Yeah. Maybe there's a local academic that people think that could be useful, but people think is like attention seeking, or could have done this for attention or something. I was, no joke, about to type Professor Oak, and I don't know why. Oh, jeez, that would have been awkward. Showing my age. Anyway. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Oh, jeez. Anyway. Did she take an interest? Yeah, the history of the house. Blaziken and Professor Oak, exactly. Right, exactly. Sure. I'm gonna break my rule of. Oh, this is 4 anyway. Let's go for 5. Let's go for 5. There's the common theme. Firefighting. Oh god. Let's have a 5th clue. Just because I like investigations apparently. Also, investigations are a great way to get people to roleplay. If you're ever kind of, this is not directly related to adventure writing, but if you're ever stuck for encouraging players to roleplay and you're comfortable doing an investigative scenario, highly recommend it, because it gets players thinking about how their characters would think in most cases, and there are always ways in which you can dissuade metagaming, let's say. But it encourages players to think about how their character would think. It encourages them to have in-character conversations, Obviously, not for every group. Some groups will just prefer to roll dice, and there is a whole section on investigations in the Chronicles of Darkness rulebook, which I will be reading before, ideally, writing the investigation scenes, because I recap for myself the investigation mechanics, like clues and things with a big C, proper nouns. But it's kind of it's a good bridge between obviously combat, and a lot of games is a big focus of the experience, and you can do role playing in combat, depending on the group, obviously, or just pure social stuff. Investigation scenes, like unlike social scenes, investigation scene which can derail or become unclear. Investigations always have a purpose. They always have a driving goal, something for the players to achieve or work towards at least. And that can, in my experience, obviously your mileage may vary, YMMV. Yeah, YMMV. Encourages people to kind of laser focus on the role playing because they want to find out what the answer is. They want to find out the solution. As a species, we're very very solution oriented. We do need to find solutions to problems when they occur, and it's just kind of relying on that really to encourage role playing. Anyway, so I try to, and obviously the more avenues you have for people to investigate, the more avenues you have for people to find out the pertinent information. So sure, I'm gonna try for 5 clues. I might do another one. Who knows? But what was I say? Yeah. They will all lead to roughly the same information, just in different ways. And some players will prefer one kind of aspect of the information. Some players will prefer the other aspect of the information. So with that being said, because I'm still 1 clue to write at the minimum, because I do have 40 minutes left of the stream. Once I've finished these clues and then decided how on earth the people outside are going to see something supernatural, I've got a few ideas ticking away. I might just go to the next scene. Will just assume the players want to go back to the house after the fact, like after it's safe to do so, and maybe sneak in, or back to the Radford estate at least to investigate the house and the estate and stuff, and kind of seed some clues around that could foreshadow the Wendigo even more, or give them something else to research, or just be a complete red herring, because red herrings are also important. There's sure the perfect streamlined investigation, the players find everything they need to find, they go and do it, but that's also kind of railroading, or overly guiding the players, giving them the ability to think for themselves, to put together the clues in their own janky way. As a side note, just watching them bludgeon square pegs into round holes is great for a storyteller. But encouraging them to think and to interact with the game in a way that's like, hey, yes, we have agency here. We can do what we want. We can take this clue and follow it to its progression, even if the clue doesn't lead anywhere towards what you intended it to, or if it's a red herring and they follow it because they believe it's important. Sometimes you might just tell a better story along the way anyway, and hey, that's I planned that all along. The players will have no idea that you didn't, obviously, unless you tell them. So a big part of it's just player agency, and also never ever be afraid of allowing player speculation and wild theorizing to actually become the thing that they're investigating, to become canon. Storyteller is 1 person. Players are like 4 to 6 on average. They're going to produce some wacky ideas that, most of the time are better than what I as the storyteller or you as the storyteller have planned. So keep that in mind, I guess. Obviously, if your investigation as in this case, kind of ties in with intrinsically with the point that you're trying to make, or the theme you're exploring, or the story you're telling. Even if it's, like this one, the fire happens. Exercise the Wendigo, or Wendigo, however you pronounce it. I'm trying to use body language and tilting to convey what you might not be able to see because you can't see my hands properly. That's why I'm moving. Obviously, allowing them to. What was I saying? Unless it's intrinsic, yes. In which case, still allow their collaborative thinking and wild speculation and conspiracy theorizing to determine things and alter some aspects of the end goal of the investigation. But if you have no defined end goal, you're like, yes, this investigation should lead them to this person. Yes, this person who is clearly fully formed. But they go on a complete goose chase down the rabbit hole, through the bushes, burn the secret garden down, murder a couple more metaphors along the way. But it's a better story overall. Embrace it. Go with the chaos. Players are just chaos incarnate, and I love it. Anyway, that was my soapbox. I haven't soapboxed for a while. But this is a GM Tips show, so there we go. That's what you get. I just need to check something, and then I will resume my plotting, literally, in this instance. Okay, anyway, I have checked. There's nothing pertinent. Let us continue. Also, I'm just using these times to check to give my throat a rest. As I said, I have been talking a lot. It is kind of sore, so I'm trying to take quick checks of my email because I sent some important emails earlier that I kind of want to keep on top of. So I'm giving my voice a break during those moments, and also just to have my drink. Anyway, so let us continue. I'm going to change Professor Baker to Barker as a Clive Barker tribute. There we go. Okay, so Arsonist in 57. Why is the building cursed? Death metal band. Professor Barker knows about the history of the house. Let's say Claudia Barker. Clivette. It's a terrible name. Don't use it. Yes, so we need something else. I do want to stay away from, it's built on a Native American burial ground. Just because that, while, accurate for most of the continental US, is a bit tropey. And I'd rather stay away from, some of it's going to be tropey anyway, but I'd rather stay away from as many tropes as possible. Okay, thanks, bye. So, let's go with... Got the local history angle. The death metal band, and if they investigate why someone would think it's cursed. That's the supernatural angle. Context. Let's have some context into the actual... engineering of the house. To encourage them to maybe look for blueprints and that kind of thing. Did Mark Wells design the Markham house? Let's rename this to Simon Wells. As well. Do you think that one will go up as quickly? There we go. So that's 5 things. Again, as I said, during the downtime or when I'm polishing this up or post-release, if I playtest this, which I'm hoping to, I'm hoping that, much like I've done with my Scion game, I can run this Phoronix Path on the channel in the future. After I've released it on Storytellers Vault. It would pay what you want, because I, prefer pay what you want as a business model, so that you can... basically, I hate asking for money. I hate price. I hate pricing what I do. So it's more hey, just give me what you feel is appropriate. And also because I have done this with chat's help, which is why I'm recording the chat input. I don't feel like I should charge for other people's ideas. That's just me. So it's pay what you want, much like the A Rude Awakening for Scion on the Story Guide Nexus. Story Path Nexus. So yeah, I might, depending on that's my plan, and if I do manage to pull it off, and I may add some extra clues based on player feedback or how it actually runs in practice, in theory, in actuality. In practice, in theory, what the hell? It's basically the same thing. In actuality, in practice, in this circumstance, would actually apply. Anyway, so I may add more clues later, is what I'm trying to say, in a very long, roundabout, extremely long-winded way. Something supernatural outside the house. Remove the indent. So this would be for people who are watching, whether as part of the crowd or not, or just so that people who aren't in the fire department do definitely sense something supernatural is going on. Okay, so the obvious solution would be some supernatural manifestation in the smoke from the fire, or they see a figure in one of the windows of the extremely crispy, fire hot, bad rooms. I don't know where that came from. Please don't ask. It will probably happen again. I hope it won't, though. So, unearthly cry seems possible. Crowd as one shivers. Let's go back to first principles. Hidden basement. None of those really help. After fire has raged for a bit and the ghost hunters have been rescued, whether through PC or STC intervention. One of the roofing timbers gives way, throwing up sheets of flame and a cloud of cinders into the sky. As the cinders start to fall, potentially inflicting, that's not even close to high spell word inflicting, 1 bashing damage, 1b to all characters present and unprotected. No, it's capital B. Fool. A second timber gives way. This one sounds more like a bone breaking. Smell of wood smoke. temporarily replaced with that of roasting pork. So that's more of an overtly, whoa, something's going on here thing. But I need a clincher. I need something to really get the players, if they don't go in the house, invested. Because again, the hardest thing about any game, obviously easier in some systems than others, is how do you get the players invested in the story that you're trying to tell? In this case, how do I get characters who live in this town invested in investigating this house and what has happened here? The easiest solution would just to have loved ones missing, with clues pointing them towards this house, but that would be tropey and easy. And I don't believe in making life easy for myself, as anyone who knows me in real life will attest. Oh. Player characters. Her voice on the wind. Voice screaming their name from a ground floor window. As if in agony. I will just check to see if there is there is a shaken condition. Characters gain the shaken condition from this. Sorry, one sec. Next question would then be how to get them all to talk to each other to kind of say, hey, I heard my voice, did you? I mean, obviously with the Scion game, with the Scion adventure, I dealt with this just by having the police investigate, ask questions, interrogate, there we go. Interview, even, less hostile. Interview them. Which, unless all of the players are going to leave clues at the building that they were there beforehand, I don't think that's going to happen. So how would I get from here to all of the players talking to each other, all the player characters talking to each other about the fact, oh, hey, by the way, the house burned down, someone called my name out. I mean, obviously I encourage... I encourage player characters to have a pre-existing relationship with at least one of the player character anyway, just because it helps with starting the story and it helps with character development, because it means, hey, I trust this person, I know them. Let's build on this. It also means that if one character starts acting out of character, not metagaming, but they are aggressive, where usually they're quite peaceful, or vice versa. There's someone there who knows that something's wrong, which is very important and useful for just character development and role-playing purposes. Anyway. I guess there could be like free... there wouldn't be free counselling, because this is just like onlookers rather than anything. I mean, it could just be as simple as the fact that they see each other through the crowd. Like, they see each other reacting to this through the crowd and no one else is. Does that work? Does that seem a bit heavy-handed to anyone else? I don't like being a heavy-handed storyteller, but right now it's all I've got. I wasn't kidding when I say I really, really struggle with this stage of the thing. Jeez. So that's a possibility. Anyway, I also just talk a lot during these streams because it helps me vocalize. Vocalizing my ideas helps me think of new ones or to refine existing ones. I talk to myself when I'm writing, so there we go. Talking to yourself, first sign of madness. Also, the first sign you might be writing an adventure. So that's the heavy-handed approach. More of a soft touch. Well, it could be even heavier-handed and you dream of each other, but that's just weird. As always, of course, there's just, hey, you run into this person while you're out. You can tell something is bothering them. Obviously, these people are your friends. You know them. Although not... The pre-generated characters that will be provided with this that we designed last week, obviously not all of them would know each other or get on with each other, so that's a bit awkward. I might just have to go for the heavy-handed approach. Nothing is springing to mind, if I'm being perfectly honest. Let's have a slightly less heavy-handed approach. Let's have a reflexive wits and composure roll, which would be affected by any relevant conditions. And anyone who succeeds notices the other people in the crowd reacting in a similar way. Anyone who doesn't, and we'll leave it up to the players to contact them. And let's have a third. So this will be heading 2, I think. Yep. As the fire burns. Character's going to check from princess. Succeeding at a reflexive wits plus composure roll. Allows a character to identify other people reacting in a similar manner to them. The crowd reacting in a similar manner to them. Brackets the other player characters. And a few random members of the populace. George Villians. A few random citizens. It's not how you spell that. There you go. An exceptional success. Allows a character to see a tall, the standard shape at the window in question. Oh, the stream's down. The stream is down. Streamlabs, why you do this? Is the stream back up? Let us see. Yes? No? Maybe? It appears to be back up. Cool. I don't know what Streamlabs did there. Streamlabs just did what Streamlabs does. Shape. fades into the fire as soon as it is noticed. And a dramatic failure. Is there a condition to impose instead? I think it's spooked, right? Yes. Gives the character the spooked condition. As well as the shaken. That should be clear enough. The dramatic failure gives the character the spooked condition. Cool. Okay. I'll delete this paragraph. Time is it? I've got 15 minutes of the stream left. I might cut the stream here, just so that I am confident enough in my discussion of the investigation mechanics for next time, before I start writing investigation scenes. I'm sorry. So does anyone have any questions about what's been written so far, or about like role-playing in general, or storytelling in general? I'm going to have a sip of my drink while the chat delay and then people typing catches up with my question, and then I'll just go through my usual outro. I'm going to mute the mic so you don't have to hear me drinking. I'm going to take that as a no. So, yes, so, thank you all for being here. As ever, if you have any lingering questions, I can be reached on Twitter, at Comrade Bubbles. This is a technically fortnightly show, so the next time, in theory, so I just want to check my calendar before I give you the wrong date. The next time, in theory, this show goes ahead will be in 2 weeks' time. However, next week I should be wrapping up my Scion game, so obviously look out for that. If you've missed any of this and you want to catch up on it, the VOD will have a week's exclusivity for Twitch subscribers, and then it will go up on my channel, my YouTube channel, Comrade Bubbles, and on its Path's YouTube channel, I assume. I also do stream as Comrade Bubbles on Twitch. I'm always happy to talk about role-playing games. Usually video game. I usually play video game stuff. Play video games, but I'm always happy to talk about role-playing. If you are unsure about what show I will be doing for these, instances where I do something out of the ordinary, the Monday meeting notes are usually accurate. I just had and if you scroll down to the bottom of the Monday meeting notes, you will be able to see the graphic version and the text version of the Twitch schedule, which is also the offline screen on this channel and will show up in the post roll momentarily. However, the Monday meeting notes also tells you about upcoming projects, any relevant interviews, podcasts, or streams that you might want to check out related to Honest Path products. It also has all of the product development notes about where various products are in development at any given time. It comes out every Monday, would you believe? And usually get some cool art previews or just art pieces in general. Anyway, that's my piece for today. I do need to go ahead. I need to prepare for the next sequence of this adventure, Like, I'm reasonably confident I know it, but I want to just recap it for my own benefit. I haven't read the rulebook in a while, and I don't want to make mistakes, especially for something that will then be, produced for sale. Again, I don't work for Onyx Path. I'm just a fan. They are kind enough to allow me this platform. But there we go. So that's everything I can think to talk about right now. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope that it was entertaining or informative. And I hope that you can join me next time. But until next time, see you and enjoy the post-roll, which has details about many of the other shows on this channel. See you around.